students and even young professionals to do is study the stars. So this is an activity where you can take advantage of LinkedIn. You go on LinkedIn, think about a couple different descriptions of a job that you're interested in. Let's say you're interested in international business. So maybe there's a particular type of job that you hope, like strategy or business development, international business, or a country you're interested in, like Hong Kong or Asia. Throw all those words into your LinkedIn search, and you'll start to see it populate with different executives or leaders or people that have that description in their profile. One thing that I always hear from students and young professionals is, okay, in LinkedIn, if I click on people's profiles, they're going to see that I'm looking at them, and that feels like stalking. I think you should just get over that. I think who cares? It's only flattering to the person that sees you looking at their profile, but it's also, this is how you get to know what it takes to get to these positions or what they're looking for. What school did they go to? Maybe what types of experiences or activities or skills did they have that maybe help them get in the door at that company or what the company is itself. So studying the stars is an exercise where you use those descriptions and you start to document a couple people that you really think to you are rock stars. Like they have a career that inspires you, that excites you, and you start to list out the things that you think are kind of prominent in their profile. The same thing if you're planning on going to career fairs. A lot of times, let's say on your campus here, PricewaterhouseCoopers is recruiting. You can go online, you can look at obviously their website and learn a tremendous amount, but you can also go on LinkedIn and look up PricewaterhouseCoopers recruiters, internship coordinators, campus recruiters. Use all the words that might describe a person in New York City or wherever you are in the country to try to bring up some profiles that might be the actual person you're going to meet at that event. And then you can look at them, get to know their profile a little bit. I promise you how little I see students going that extra step, taking that extra effort to really stand out, to connect with these people, goes such a long way. You'll be the candidate that by far stands out among all the rest. But too often I think students, you just get overwhelmed. It's big. You just think, okay, I'm just going to focus on having my suit ironed and my resume is in hand. But it's more than that. It's really about making that connection and standing out. So at career fairs, there's a couple things that you need to do, three main things. One is that practicing of your elevator pitch. If you go to our website, whymillennialsmatter.com, or if you go onto any of our social platforms, Instagram or Twitter, and our partners at Barnes-Noble College have an awesome blog called thecollegejuice.com. We have a whole career section on there with a briefcase that helps you prepare your elevator pitch. You know how often I meet someone that gives like the most boring standard introduction, like name, rank, serial number. My name is Joan. I'm a marketing major and I want to go into business. I mean, that's not that memorable. Versus I'm really passionate about doing work that empowers others to achieve their goals. So not only am I a marketing major and I'm planning to work at a global corporation and work on brand campaigns, but I want to continue to give back. I want to work for a company that has values and a mission that serves the communities that our products and services serve. So you think about how you can better represent yourself, and we encourage you to think about 5 questions. What's your mission? What is it that you really care about? What aligns with your values? 2, what are your passions? What do you love? I was with a student a couple weeks ago who is really interested in cartoons, but is majoring in business strategy, like more business development. So we were getting creative thinking about, okay, is there a company that does international, rights negotiations for, popular cartoons, bringing them to the U.S. or bringing the U.S. cartoons to Japan? I mean, there's all sorts of things you can think about that combine what you're studying at school, the skills that you think that you're great at, analytical skills, math skills, communication skills, creative skills, with something you just love, that you would love to study endlessly, that subject that you could read about for hours. The third is, what are your career interests? And sometimes we don't know until we try things. That's why internships are really important. Retail experience, working part-time jobs, anything you can do, shadowing people, building mentorship relationships where you can talk to them about their day-to-day job and what they do, so you can get a sense of would I like that environment? Is that the type of things that I think that I would be motivated every day to wake up and hit the alarm button and go to work and do? Now's the time to think about it. The last two questions are, do I have any hobbies? Things that I could really think about in terms of a career. Like I have another student that I worked with a couple years ago that was an amazing skier, had grown up skiing all of her life since she was 3 years old, but was majoring in public relations. Never thought about, okay, I could go work for a ski magazine and do PR for them. I could go work for a resort itself and do so it's about connecting the dots. And the last thing is, what do you want to be remembered for? So anytime you're in a situation where you're trying to make connections and build a relationship, build a positive rapport, you want to think, how can I have this person remember me when I walk away? What is it that about me that I really want to be distinct to my personal brand? So we have an elevator pitch selfie challenge at Why Millennials Matter that we've been running for quite some time. And if you go onto our Instagram account, you can actually see some other students across the country, actually around the world, that have submitted 30-second elevator pitch selfie, just trying to describe themselves using those 5 questions to help them really stand out. So if you do that, hashtag elevator pitch selfie, we'll respond back with some coaching and some guidance and feedback about how you present yourself, your elevator pitch. The last 2 things for the career fairs are dressing for success. We were talking about this earlier with one of the students that arrived, that dress for the job that is 2 levels above the one that you want. And it's different because nowadays you could be applying to a corporate business environment where they require some very conservative professional attire. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. You have to know that that's what it's going to take to look like you are mature enough and you're appropriate to what that work environment's going to be. But in other cases, we're here in New York City. I've spent a ton of time at startups in Brooklyn and even here in the city where there's a much more casual atmosphere. Still should dress a little bit more dressed up than your day-to-day, because again, you're trying to make a good impression. You want to show that you are, we spell at Why Millennials Matter appearance with three P's: poised, presentable, and polished. Like, it's about not looking like you just rolled out of bed. It's about looking like you are really there to present your best self. The third thing for the career fair is having a game plan. I just mentioned earlier that people can get really overwhelmed when you go to these career fairs, or even if you go to a job interview. You have to have a strategy for everything. If you're going to a career fair, think about the top 10 companies that you're just dying to talk to. Do your research. One story that I share is that even back when I was in college, I went to the Big East career fair here in New York, and these career fairs are enormous. Sometimes they're in convention centers or they're in big auditoriums on school campuses. And I picked the 10 companies that I loved, that I was dying to work for, from Disney to Prudential to Smith Barney, and I customized my resume for each of those companies. I didn't do anything dramatic. I kind of still had the same objective because I knew I wanted to be in marketing or in management rotation programs. But I changed the name and said, my objective is to get a position at Viacom so that I can continue to develop my creative leadership and management skills, yada, yada, yada. So having a folder, with that customized resume and the research about that company helped kind of calm my nerves and made me feel a little bit more confident that I went there and I said, okay, I've got the map. If I can try to get to at least half of those companies, I'm going to stand out because I'm going to show them that I really cared about meeting them. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of times at career fairs, you have the main booth where they're meeting you and they're greeting you, but then they also have a behind the scenes area where if they're really impressed, they bring you back for a longer interview. And sometimes they'll let you know. Sometimes that's an impromptu thing. So I think if you know that that's a potential scenario, then you're ready to get it. When you're in front of that person, you know that you have a finite amount of time to make a good impression. So really try to be natural, be yourself, connect, smile. That makes everybody more relaxed, and be listening while also trying to convey what it is that you're looking for to learn from that company. So for the next just 5 minutes before we announce the career sweeps winners of our sweepstakes with Barnes & Noble College and Why Millennials Matter, I just wanted to talk about something that's going to matter forever, which is relationships. everyone seems so intimidated by networking. It doesn't feel like, it feels like icky to some people. It feels like fake. But the truth is, relationships are everything, personally and professionally. And building a strong community. We talk about power posses, the friends that you go to school with right now, the peers that are in your classroom. Some you may stay connected with forever and some you may not. But I think really looking around and trying to align yourself with people that bring out the best in you is super important. But when it comes to networking and building relationships, if you're trying to secure a job and you're just hitting a lot of roadblocks, or you feel kind of stumped, you're not really sure where to go with your passions, your interests, your hobbies, your major, the best resource, the best relationship you can form is with alumni. So alumni, you have this common bond. They went to the school, even if things have dramatically changed in 20 years, they're usually in a position where they can open some doors or just at least offer you some real world advice, whether they're in your major or not. And so the first place to go is to your career center and start building relationships with your advisors and getting to know them, knowing what the resources are that are free to you, the events that are happening, but also through them, find out if it isn't already a separate office, the Alumni Association office. You can get involved with the Alumni Association as a student. I got involved my freshman year. I moved to Pittsburgh from a small town in Pennsylvania where I had no connections in the business world. I knew no one that wore a suit and worked in New York City, my dream job. And so all I knew, and this was advice that came from my own mother, was that when I got to Pitt, it was a big enough school of 30,000 students. There had to be millions of alumni out there, hundreds of thousands of alumni, I should say, that some of them may know something about where I want to go with my life. So my freshman year, I got involved and I'd offer to take coats at events. I would offer to, fill out name tags. I would do anything to just have that opportunity. And the truth is, so within 30 seconds, I'd realize how interested alumni are in talking to you. They want you to tell them what it's like to be a student today at Baruch or wherever else. They want to stay connected. The reason, if they're the type of alumni that show up at alumni events, school meant something to them and they're there to give back. And so nothing makes them happier than feeling like a little bit of their advice is going to help you achieve your goals. So that's really important. I think you can also go on LinkedIn again. There's so much value on LinkedIn. Do you guys have profiles on LinkedIn? Awesome. So we should definitely connect afterwards, and everyone online too. But relationships really matter, and I think it's about 70% of the work to maintain that relationship falls on your shoulders as the mentee, as the protege. And if you think about that, so a lot of times some young people go into these relationships like, I just expect them to help me figure it all out. But these are busy people, right? If they're more experienced than you, they're probably at a senior level in their job or more advanced. They may have families or other responsibilities in life. So you really want to be respectful of their time, be super prepared when you talk to them, be ready to help them. Find out what it is that they're working towards, their goals. Maybe there's something that you could teach them or give them some insight in, or offer to support them in. They have events. So again, I think one of the best places to start is building those relationships even before you go to career fairs or before you go to your first interview. So I'm going to open it up for questions in a moment, but now with a drum roll, I want to share our winners of our Career Now contest. So we launched this contest back at the end of January, right? And we had an unbelievable number of responses, hundreds and hundreds of students, over 1,000 across the country, from community colleges to private schools to public schools, business majors to aerodynamic majors to culinary majors entered. And we just asked them, again, this one thing: describe yourself in one tweet, who you are. And some of the things that I thought were really exceptional was 160 characters to be able to say something creative that catches our eye, like about their hobbies or their interests or the fact that they're working to pay their way through school at a local retail store, while also disciplining themselves to have strong academic performance. There's a lot of really great creative writing, but also just struck right to the point of, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is what I need help with. One of the things that we loved about the entries was students saying, I feel really good about X, Y, and Z, but I don't have the right career wardrobe to interview, and I don't have the money to invest in it. Or I don't have strong enough negotiation skills. Do I need that to get the job of my dreams? So the winners that we announced, they're not only getting a live in-person coaching session with me, but I'm going to travel to their campus and do a campus workshop open to all students at the school, and they're getting $150 towards a career makeover. So the 5 winners are, I'm going to say their first name and their last initial in the school. The first is Emily D. from Boston University. So excited to work with Emily and help her with her career wardrobe makeover and help her get her dream job in occupational therapy. 2 is Nathan F. from Indiana University in Bloomington. I spend a lot of time in Indianapolis, so I'm very excited to come visit you, who talks about how he's a dreamer and an innovator and wants to be able to present his ideas to the world. So I'm going to help you sell yourself. 3rd is Alistair W. from Texas A&M University. I think that you're going to teach me a lot. You are a scientist, and it sounds like you're going to change the world, and you're going to do it already through social channels as well. So I'm excited to work with you. Number 4 is Rhiannon R. from the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I've never been to Michigan. I'm very excited to go to Michigan. I've heard a lot of exceptional things about your career services department on campus. So would love to help you connect with them since you're an engineering major and figure out where you can pull together your eco-conscious interest with your major and help you grow some confidence so you can get the job of your dreams. And then finally, our 5th winner is Darren T. from Vanderbilt University. One of the biggest standouts in terms of how creative you were in describing what you're trying to do with yourself, from splitting wood to splitting atoms. You know, another engineer, really excited to talk through what your interests are, where you want to work, and help you get there. So those are the 5 winners of our Career Now contest, which was a huge success. Excited to meet everybody soon. My final thoughts before I take some questions are, would love for you to check out our podcast. We have been tripling in downloads every single month. It's called Passion Action. You can find it on iTunes. We interview students, we interview entrepreneurs, we interview business leaders, CEOs, executives from all over the world, and young professionals from all over the world in every different type of genre, major, industry, to give you some inspiration to put your passions into action. We want you to check out thecollegejuice.com. That's the Barnes Noble College website. Again, there's a Career Now section with a briefcase that has every imaginable question, advice, links, resources to help you. And then finally, our website, whymillennialsmatter.com. So with that, I know we have a number of people online, and then we have those in the room. We're going to start with taking a question from the students at Baruch here, and then go online. You can just type your questions, and Brianna from Why Millennials Matter is going to help me navigate that. So anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned connecting with organizers is the best thing, in terms of networking.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how, because I'm planning to do informational interviews with some organizers.
Smart. Okay.
And how would you suggest me going about doing that?
Got it. And it's Khalid, right?
Khalid, yes.
So Khalid is a student here at Baruch who is majoring in international business, wants to study in Hong Kong, actually wants to work in Hong Kong, would love that experience. So any alumni that are listening, look for Khalid. You connect to him through us. But his question was, he really wants to meet with alumni and do some informational interviews, some advice. Okay, so let's think about 2 things. One, who you're going to meet with, and 2, so like who you're going to meet with and how you find them, and 2, how you prepare for that meeting. So who you're going to meet with and how you find them. You're clearly going to go through the easiest first steps are you go to Baruch's Star Career Center. You're going to go to your alumni association and come prepared with a list of all the things that you really would love to do this summer and your job when you graduate. So it would be, we talked about international business, but what kind? Is there something specific that you're interested in? We know that you're interested in studying and working in Asia. But is there anything in particular that you learned at school or that you've been reading in the news? I use Twitter for a lot of career search coaching for students. So you could do hashtag international business, hashtag business, hashtag Hong Kong, like combine those together to see what news items pop up, like what's the buzz about that part of the world in terms of business. So you're going to go to the Career Center, you're going to go to the Alumni Center, and you're going to go to LinkedIn. You're going to do the search for Baruch alumni. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't even worry about what their major was, but I would put in those things that you think are important. And then the ask to get the informational interview is you need to kind of draft a template that's succinct. Please don't write pages and pages of emails. They'll never read it, right? So you want to be able to be succinct about, I'm Khalid. I'm an active student leader on Baruch's campus, a rising junior. I am really excited about working abroad. I already studied abroad in Germany, and so a succinct way in one paragraph to capture who you are, and then quickly get to what you want from them. I want 20 minutes of your time over the phone. 30 minutes, I'll buy you coffee. Something to say like, I just want time with you. I am, and flattery goes everywhere. So tell them you are super impressed or inspired by their profile, by their job right now, and you just really want to learn some advice about how to get on the same path. So that's how you find them and how you prepare for that in terms of securing the interview with them, the informational interview. The second is what you want to do. So let's say you have a coffee meeting coming up at the Barnes & Noble College store, Brooks campus, with someone that works for Accenture Consulting. Okay, they graduated from Baruch. They worked and lived abroad in the country that you're interested in. You're going to meet for this coffee meeting. Go back to LinkedIn, look at everything you can about their profile that you could ask them questions about, smart questions. If they started out as a research associate, whether they have a summary or not that explains that, you can do a little bit of Google searching. You can say Accenture research analyst, skills, responsibilities. You can look at how they post those positions. Then you can come to say, hey, I noticed that when you graduated, you immediately got an entry-level job as a research associate, and I would imagine you did XYZ. You did these different things. What was that like? Did you feel prepared? Do you wish there was something you had known when you were on campus, when you were in school and had time to invest in these skills to help you succeed on the job? How did you get that job? How did you get that internship? What did you love about it? What did you not like about it? So it's really showing up and showing that you're prepared. Having about 5 or 6 questions written down, a copy of your resume, but of course nowadays you're going to email everything to anyone anyway. And I just think it's being prepared to compliment them, show them that you did the work. And remember that whole idea that 70% of the responsibility falls on you. You want to ask them questions like, what's happening with you right now? What's happening with you professionally, personally? Is there anything you think I can help you with? You would be surprised what you hear. There could be executives that are like, hey, we're actually trying to launch this product on campuses, and I have no idea what students are doing today in terms of communication or their social behaviors. You open up the door to learn about their work, and that gives you the opportunity to really go above and beyond to support them. And that proves that you are reliable, you're loyal, you're trustworthy, and that's someone that they're going to want to hold their brand to. They're going to want to have your back and support you to achieve your next steps. Is that helpful? Is there anything else?
Yes,
yeah. Good. Awesome. Well, thank you for the question. Do anybody online? Oh, we tweeted them last time. Do you have multiple screens? Okay, so one that I see is the last is about personal branding and how best to promote yourself online. So today, your brand lives online, in person, and on paper. And you can beyond just emailing and entering a paper resume, there's a lot of different dynamic things that you can do that people are going to be looking at. They are going to do Google searches of your name before they hire you. People have lost jobs and gained jobs because of that. So you want to make sure that you're doing a really thorough review of how you represent yourself online if someone's looking you up. Have you guys ever done a Google search of yourself?
Yes, I did.
You did? Good. Make sure you do it. And it's funny. Myself, even the work that we do, we have to discipline ourselves to do that constantly to see what's coming up, or if there's somebody out there with your exact same name that has a brand that you don't want to align with, you kind of want to be aware of these things and you can work that all out in your favor. And then second is, even if you're not going into a creative professional or creative profession or design profession, you can use some great websites to create an online resume. We've talked a ton about LinkedIn, but there's others that you can, even your campus usually has an opportunity for you to create a profile. So anything that you can do to show that you're investing every which way to really stand out, to showcase your brand is a smart move. With that, we're a little bit over our 30-minute hangout, but appreciate everybody that tuned in online. This is now going to be available on YouTube, the entire session. And to all of you that came today, thanks so much. And we'll be here answering questions, hang out, and get to know you a little bit better. Thank you. Thank you.